Ever wonder why some people just seem to get rich almost effortlessly, while the rest of us feel like we're struggling our whole lives? Well, today we're going to crack open two of the biggest finance books out there, Rich Dad Poor Dad and The Psychology of Money, to uncover a really powerful secret. See, it's not just about what you do with your money. It's about how you think about it, and that changes everything.
I mean, this is the question, right? It's the one that keeps so many of us up at night. We do everything we're told, go to school, land a good job, work our tails off. But that feeling of being financially secure, it always seems just out of reach. And that feeling, it's not an accident. It's actually a symptom of a way bigger problem. So in Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki gives us these two father figures who have totally opposite views on money. His poor dad, a super educated guy working for the government, he thought that talking about money was kind of sleazy, for greedy people. But his rich dad, who dropped out in 8th grade and became a millionaire, he believed that the lack of money was the real problem. And this huge difference in mindset, well, that's where it all begins.
And that clash in how you think about money, it leads most of us right into what Kiyosaki famously called the rat race. It's a trap that's so common, so normal, that most of us don't even realize we're stuck in it.
You know the drill. You get a raise at work? Awesome. So you buy a bigger house or a nicer car, but then your expenses creep up, your taxes go up, and suddenly you're even more stressed out than before. You're just running faster and faster on that little hamster wheel, but you're not actually getting anywhere. Sound familiar? Yep, that's the rat race.
So how do you get out? How do you escape the wheel? Well, Kiyosaki argues the escape plan isn't some complicated formula. Actually, it's shockingly simple. It all boils down to really, truly understanding two words.
First up, an asset. An asset is anything that generates income for you, that puts money in your pocket. Think about things like a rental property bringing in monthly checks, or stocks that pay you dividends, or a business that can run without you having to be there every second. An asset is something that works for you, so you don't have to.
And then there's a liability. A liability is the exact opposite. It's something that takes money out of your pocket every single month. This is your car payment, your credit card debt, or, and this is the controversial one, even the house you live in. See, the middle class spends their lives buying liabilities that they think are assets. And that's the whole game. The rich spend their lives acquiring assets instead. This quote just nails Kiyosaki's third lesson: mind your own business. When Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's, was asked what business he was in, he didn't say hamburgers, he said real estate. He knew his job was selling hamburger franchises, but his business, the thing that was making him wealthy, was owning the incredibly valuable land that all those McDonald's were built on. His business was his asset column.
Okay, so the blueprint seems pretty simple, right? Buy assets, avoid liabilities, mind your own business. It's so straightforward. Which leads to a massive, really critical question.
And this is where our explainer takes a really interesting turn. Because knowing what to do is honestly only half the battle. The other half, the much harder half, is what's going on inside your head when you actually try to do it. And this is the central idea of our second book, The Psychology of Money.
Get this. Consider these two real-life stories. Ronald Read was a janitor. He patiently saved what little he could and invested it in solid blue-chip stocks. He died with an $8 million fortune. On the flip side, you have Richard Fiscone, Harvard-educated, a top executive at Merrill Lynch. He borrowed way too much, got overextended, and went completely bankrupt. What does this tell us? Financial success isn't about how smart you are. It's all about how you behave.
And here's the big twist. Author Morgan Housel says that finance is taught all wrong. We teach it like it's physics, with concrete rules and laws, but it should be taught like psychology. Financial success is a soft skill. It's about taming your own fear and greed, it's about having patience, and most of all, it's about avoiding catastrophic mistakes. So when you look at money through this psychological lens, you realize something huge. Getting wealthy and staying wealthy are two completely different skills. They require totally different mindsets. Think about it. Getting money requires optimism. It requires you to take risks. But keeping it, that requires a little bit of paranoia. It requires the humility to accept that luck probably played a role in your success and the fear to know that risk can take it all away in a heartbeat. Just look at Warren Buffett. If he had started investing at age 30 and retired at 60, like a normal person,
His net worth today would be, wait for it, 99.9% lower. His skill is investing, sure, but his secret is time. His real superpower is just one thing: survival.
When you look at it, staying wealthy isn't about making one brilliant genius move. As Buffett shows us, it's about what you don't do. He didn't get buried in debt. He didn't panic and sell when the market crashed, and it crashed 14 times in his career. He just survived. He stuck around long enough to let the magic of compounding do its incredible work.
But let's take a step back. Why are we even doing all this? Why try to build wealth in the first place? It turns out, both of these books land on the exact same, maybe surprising answer. And it's not about buying more stuff.
Housel calls this the man in the car paradox, and it's so true. We buy fancy things hoping other people will respect and admire us. But when we see someone else with a nice car, we don't think, wow, that person is so cool. We think, wow, if I had that car, people would think I'm cool. We use their stuff as a benchmark for our own desires. It's a game you literally cannot win.
And this leads to a really important distinction. Rich is a current income. It's visible. We see it in the expensive cars and the big houses. But wealth is hidden. It's the income you don't spend. It's the financial assets, the stocks you haven't sold, the investments that are quietly growing, that provide you with options, flexibility, and control.
So if it isn't about the Lamborghinis or the Rolexes, what is the ultimate return on our wealth? What is the one thing money can buy that is more valuable than anything else?
It's one word: freedom. The greatest, most valuable thing money can buy is control over your own time. The ability to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, for as long as you want. That's the real prize.
And this isn't just some nice, fluffy idea. It's actually backed by hard research. A psychologist named Angus Campbell found that having a strong sense of control over your own life is the single most reliable predictor of happiness. It's more important than your salary, more important than the size of your house, more important than how prestigious your job is. Autonomy. That's the real goal.
So, we'll leave you with this final question. We want you to look at your financial life through this new lens. Every dollar you spend, every financial decision you make, it's a choice. Is that dollar buying you something to signal to others that you're rich? Or is it buying back your own time, building a life of true freedom and autonomy? The choice is yours.